Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's not altogether that old in comparison really, but it is based on the 1980s classic Masters of the Universe television series. So what we're looking at today is the 2015 release by Mattel from their Masters of the Universe classic 1980s animated figure range. And this particular figure we're looking at today is of Evil Seed, which you can't see yet because we haven't removed the front cover from the box. But like I say, all these figures were based on the very successful Mattel toy line from the very early 1980s, which in turn spawned the television series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which started in 1983, I believe, and has been very successful and a very big franchise for Mattel ever since. Okay, this is the box that the items come in, and this is the outer sleeve, and you can see it's got the skull and crossbone of the Castle Grayskull, and it's got Adult Collector at the bottom there. So let's turn the box around to the back. And on the back it says Masters of the Universe, contents, one figure with accessories, consumer information, need assistance, and you got a number there to contact Mattel on, and it's got service.mattel.com, the barcode, DKC35 is a number, and the Mattel logo at the bottom there. On the side of the box again you just got images of the Grayskull Castle, and obviously the door. Okay, let's just remove the sleeve now and let's have a look at the figure outside of the sleeve. Okay, so I've removed the sleeves off the box, and you can see you've got the figure at the back there, and it's difficult to see because of the light and the reflection, but we will address that in a moment. But this is the front of the box, and again it's like the entrance to Castle Grayskull, with the door open if you like, and it says He-Man and the Master of the Universe, Evil Seed, Adult Collector figure, and you've got the Mattel logo on the bottom right hand corner. And if I turn the box round to the back, and there we have the image of Evil Seed as he appeared in the 1980s television series. And it says He-Man and the Master of the Universe, and there's the image there. And it says Matey Collector.com, where collectors are king. And it says, based on the successful Mattel toy line, the animated He-Man and the Master of the Universe debuted in 1983 and immediately delighted young fans with unique storylines and interpretations of characters that until then had existed only in plastic. Now, many years later, Mattel pays homage to those thrilling episode adventures with a collection line of highly detailed and articulated action figures that are true to their animated counterparts by the Power of Grayskull. Okay, so if I just turn the box to the side again, you've got the images of the castle there. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to open the box, we're going to take out the figure, and we're going to have a look at the figure without the hindrance of the box around him. Okay, so I've removed the figure from the box, and this is what we've got. So we've got Evil Seed in there, and he's got his vicious vines with him as well. Now, as you can see, he's all strapped on with these bands, which go around the back here. And unfortunately, I can't take him out without destroying those bands that hold him into position there. There's no way of actually putting this back on should I break the bands. So I can't do that. And the same thing applies on these vicious vines. I think the vicious vines, well, the vines can come out. They're not held in with anything, so I can take the vines out. It really is only the figure, and he's held in around the arms, sleeves, and the waist, so I can't actually remove him. Oh, but look at that backdrop, and that's a great backdrop that comes in the back of the box. And that's where you could display your figure on. So if you took him out of the packaging, you could have him displayed there with his vicious vines just laying to the side of him, and then you could have the figure sitting on the side there. Okay, that would be very nice. And these vicious vines are nice, soft, pliable rubber, so they're easy enough to move and position however you would like. Okay, so there is Evil Seed. Now what I want to do is I want to zoom right in on him, and let's have a look at that face, because what an amazing face that is. The detailing of this figure is absolutely incredible, as were all the figures in this range. Mattel really went overboard with producing these figures so they were identical to their counterparts on the TV series. And there you can see he is there with his cloak on, his grey style hands poking out from his cloak, and his cloak goes all the way down to those eerie, horrible feet of his, which are like tentacles or more of the vicious vines. They just look horrible. But there we are, that's what the evil seed was all about. But again, I mean, an absolutely fantastic figure. It's just been done so well. So Mattel really did do a fantastic job on these figures. Limited runs they were, but they were absolutely fantastic. But these figures are for the adult collector, they're not for children. They're 8 for 14 and up, hence the reason probably why they spent so much time and effort on them. Okay, 18 centimeters in height, which reverts to 7 inches. If we measure across the bottom, which is his widest point, we are looking at 8 centimeters. And if we measure the depth again, I suppose from feet to back again, we're looking at about 8 centimeters. So that gives you the idea of the size of this amazing figure from Masters of the Universe. But he really is done so superbly well, as were, as I say, all of the figures in this collection. They are absolutely fantastic. And if it was mine to display, I would display it the way that I have my He-Man and my Skeletor from this series, and that's basically in this backdrop, out of the packet, and standing with their accessories on the background of the Castle Grayskull. Okay, next question. How well did these do back in 2015? Well, as with all of these figures, Mattel released them in a limited run. I'm not sure of the actual numbers, but they were very, very limited, and they were run for only 1 year before the lines were discontinued. And that was obviously with these types of figures. They wanted to keep the collectability high and the value of the figures up. So hence why they run for such a short time in the limited quantities. And they sold out extremely quickly, as with all of this range really. If you didn't buy them when they were first released, or you waited to see if the price would go down, you're out of luck, because they didn't, and they sold out quickly. Really, really good job, and it's hardly surprising because of the quality of this figure. One thing we didn't look at was the articulation on this particular one. So we know you've got movement on the arms here, you've got the movement on the shoulders, so we've got, and the hands. So we've got 3 pieces of articulation on each of the hand. The head moves side to side and up and down, so you've got double articulation on the head. Now this one, I think the feet move, or the legs certainly do move, but yeah, I mean there is articulation on the legs, but because he's got the long coat on, I can't see what the articulation is, but it is multi-articulate. So massive points of articulation on these figures, as with all of them. So there we are. Okay, let's move forward just 10 years to today's date, 2025, which is where we are today. Do these figures come up very often on the platforms? I hear you ask me. Well, occasionally they do, not very often. And when they do, they're usually demanding very, very big money. Which is hardly surprising because of the quality and the collectability of these particular figures. They do come up in various different states. You do occasionally see them like this one still in the boxes. However, the ones I looked at on the platforms, there was 2 of these I found on the platforms. Both of them had been out of the boxes because they no longer had the strapping holding the figures in place. So it's an easy way to identify if they have actually been out of the box before and displayed, because you can't put these straps back on once they're broken. They are like a clear elastic band, but you have to break them to get the figures out. So if it's not on your figure, you know the figure's been out. So there was a couple with those in the boxes, just like this, but without those bands. And there was also, I think I found 2 that were just loose figures, but without the vines. So yes, they do come up various different states of condition, and be careful, obviously, if you're buying on a platform, because somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable condition. And some of the platforms use stock images and stock descriptions, so what you actually think you're ordering, you might not be. You could be ordering a used item and think it's new, because of the way some of those platforms work. However, we at Midas Touch, we do not believe in stock images and stock descriptions. What you see in front of you is exactly the item you would receive should you wish to order the item on our website. And if we do have different conditions for certain items, they are listed under completely different product numbers, so they cannot be mixed up, and you cannot order something that you didn't think you was ordering. Now, these particular items, together with all the other ones that we have available on the website of these Masters, animated Masters figures, were a stock buyout from a closed down toy and comic book shop. They've been around for many, many years. And there was a whole case of these figures unopened in the stock room. I'm not even sure if they knew it was there until we went in and we brought out all their stock. But yeah, so we've got, I think there's about 8 or 10 different figures that we have available now on the Midas Touch website. This one included, and if it's something you are looking for, you can get to the Midas Touch website very simply by clicking the link below. It would take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many, many other vintage Masters of the Universe items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that, there's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps there's something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Evil Seed Masters of the Universe action figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.